Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Welcome back to Second Breakfast. Hope you guys are doing okay out there. If not okay, doing better than okay, doing great. And if not, what are you doing with your life? Yeah, it's been a busy week. It's only Tuesday, but a lot of things been going on. Some things in the background, working with various projects. Also, trying to get some painting done. I just put this guy together. Well, I put him together. I didn't 3D print him though, but it's a goofy looking off-world ATV. I'm gonna make it look as grungy and off-worldy as possible. Well used, well loved. Make it look a little ricketier than it already does. Doesn't it look like that's kind of the front, but when in fact that's the front? And if you would have saw the inside cockpit, it just made it look completely wrong. So I put the old window on there to make it uh, not look so. The way it was designed, it was like for one big model to sit in it, and I wanted it to look like it could house like four. Is that asking too much? I don't know. That's what I'm going to go with. I got it for Jackie's uh, game that he's running because it's kind of a sci-fi thing. Uh, Despite him calling it Dungeons and Dragons, there's very little Dungeons and/or Dragons in it, but that's how he's getting the kids to the table. Most of the kids have never played before, and they're having a really good time. I'm really proud of him. He's done some really, really fun stuff and gotten a decent group of kids together. Uh, strangely enough, out of all the girls that are playing, it's one of the guys that's the shy one. Everybody else is really loud, really into it. What's up, Mobius? Good day. Yeah, it's a pretty good day. Painting and watching a couple of goofy videos, listening to some music. It looks like it's going to rain here, believe it or not. Which I love rain, but uh, I got some stuff to do outside. Finishing up the garage. I've got a pile of boxes that need to be broken down. That's just going almost to the rafters. I was saving boxes for my mail order business and the move to Texas, and I decided I'm just going to go plastic. Screw that cardboard stuff. It's just you can't clean it very well, and it just becomes a dust magnet. What's up? What's up, George? Hey, I had a small request for you. I want to talk to you later, if you don't mind going back to work for me and doing a little thumbnail work. But the link is in the chat channel at the top of my Discord. If anybody wants to come in and hang out with the old guy while I paint up some minis and talk turkey. I was listening to some Chris Ria before you got here. Man, what a guy. I don't know if you guys saw the Star Blazers video I dropped this morning. That movie was really good. I'm really glad I got it. And now I'm going to go look for the live action TV show and the cartoon. Hopefully, it'll help me nail down a couple of key points for the sci-fi RPG I want to run. I think I've figured out some of the key elements, and then let the players go wild, do whatever the hell they want within the 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 parameters of the universe. What's going on? Okay, thanks, man. I just I to put it really simply, like a sci-fi version and a fantasy version of the same thing, just so that I could alternate between the regular one and maybe if I'm in a more sci-fi mood, I can go. Okay, hey, let's talk some sci-fi. Not like we don't already, right? Saturday nights we've been doing the sci-fi shadow chat for 3 or 4 years now. It's hard to believe when we're not running really, great games. And of course, Owen's going to go. When are we going to play Planet of the Apes? As soon as I come up with a something, uh, because it's a short game, I think it should have some sort of rails, not a complete railroad, but at least some guardrails, so that we know something of not just the world, but like a direction. Like with the Alien game, we've got a goal. It's set. With the Star Wars game, it's set. We want to become big, bad, powerful, evil Sith and or Mandalorian villains of renown. With the Alien game, we just want to get back home alive to spend our paychecks. And with the sci-fi game, I want something similar. A goal that needs to be met, but how that gets done is up to the players. At least some sort of theme that's running through whatever else the players might want to branch off and do, but something to get them together, have a common goal. Uh, not like Firefly so much, where the goal is just to keep the Serenity flying, but a little bit more concrete than that, but not so concrete as to make them feel that they're in a freaking tunnel and there's only one way out. And I also got some. I got this set from Mantic Miniatures. It's a library, so it's just a crap ton of bookshelves. But it was such a good deal that I was like, yeah, I really can't pass on that. I probably have a few bookshelves, but I wanted to be able to really do up. You do it, dog. Anytime I throw my what? Are you, oh my god! When emergency strikes, first responders need their critical technology to move as fast as they can. That's why T-Mobile created T Priority. So the dog stepped on my tablet. Can you believe him? I guess he wanted to hear some music. He's not a really big fan of music. He kind of hates it when we sing. Like I know we're not the greatest singers in this house. Jackie's pretty good. His mom's not bad, but come on, dude. Yeah, I actually have a continuation of the 2525 traveler story in a notebook. I think it's this one right here. Let's double check. I always take this notebook to the dentist, and yep, it's right here. Whenever I go to the dentist or the doctors, which is very, very rarely, or anywhere that I feel I might be bored even for a second, I have. Oh, I forgot about this one. Maybe we'll do this one. I have to talk to Jackie. I had another idea in here. The Venture Brothers sort of themed supernatural story arc I wanted to do. So while I'm sitting here gabbing, sponsored by T-Mobile, I know, right? I'm probably gonna get in trouble for that. Hey, you didn't have permission. Hey, it was an accident. Shut up. It's really weird how unforgiving some of these people can be with things like that. So I'm gonna start Zenithal highlighting the bookshelves. But yeah, the Traveler game is definitely, and I'm kind of bummed that we didn't wait a little longer for the Alien to do it around Halloween. I think it would have been just all that much more fun to be doing it, during that season, to have a little horror to go along with our role playing. But the sci-fi game that I was just talking about, the Traveler game, not the other sci-fi game, is absolutely horror inspired by such classics as, of course, Alien and Event Horizon, possibly one of the scarier sci-fi movies out there, and maybe even a little Fire in the Sky. I suppose, yeah, I think that would be appropriate to lump that in there. That movie to me, up until recently, was incredibly terrifying. Even though the scary part of that movie doesn't happen until about an hour and a half into the movie, the last 15 minutes, when Travis Walton is reliving his experience. Will you watch where I'm going? Jeepers, dog. But yeah, I like doing things seasonally, having my games and things like that coincide with whatever season. We used to have big themes on the show when Jackie and I were doing mostly craft videos. We would do winter crafts during the winter. We would do horror stuff The hardest, though, I kid you not, was Thanksgiving. Coming up with Thanksgiving themed crafts. After we had done a couple of scarecrows and pumpkin patches, we were like, I got nothing. And that happened several years in a row. You can go check the videos back in the old archives to see how awkward that was trying to come up with something that would fit. Thankfully, we're not doing as many crafts as we used to because when I was cleaning out the garage, I kid you not, I've got 20 boxes of crafts, including that giant volcanic island that's now sitting on top of a refrigerator. I need to cover that with some sort of dust cover because that's an absolute work of art, and it's taken a couple of little dings that I need to repair. I showed it to Jackie's friends, and they were like absolutely blown away. But Jackie won't let me tell them the name of the channel so they can go watch Jackie because he'd be super embarrassed. But you guys can go back and watch all the old videos of Jackie and see what an adorable little, as he used to call it, squeaker he was. It was it's a lot of fun. I miss it, but the boxes were piling up of crafts, which I decided that if I do a convention, I'm going to find some way to bring like a crap ton of those crafts to the convention. Just put them on a table and whatever you guys want, you just take, and whatever's not taken, I'm just going to leave for the hotel to deal with because I can't throw that stuff away, but I can't keep carrying a lot of it around. Some of it we are going to keep because it's very reusable, but there's some crafts in there that we're just like, yeah, we're never going to use this. Never, never in a million years. And of course, as soon as we get rid of it, Jackie be like, Dad, what'd you do with that blah, blah, blah craft that we did back in, 2019 or whatever? Uh, well, left it at the Sheridan in Texas. Be like, no, there's nothing we haven't done, with a few exceptions that we couldn't redo, uh, unless it involved using like something from the dollar store that we could never find again. And even then, I think if I searched far and wide enough, I could probably find it. But lately, it's been harder and harder to track things down. It seems. I was looking for. You guys remember the Bob Newhart show? I know this is a weird tangent, but you guys aren't jumping in to talk with me, so I'm just going to babble. In the Bob Newhart show, he had these two bookends, an A and a Z, ceramic, white. They were on his bookshelf, obviously. And funnily enough, my mom was in a place, for her mental health for more than an entire year of my life. And one of the things she had done when she was allowed to do arts and crafts as part of the treatment was she made a big, an identical letter A and Z bookends that we had in the house for years and years and years. We all watched, except my little brother, the original Bob Newhart show. For whatever reason, it was way above what should have been my head at the time. Larry, Daryl, and Daryl. No, the one before that, um, the original one. Was Suzanne Plachette the co-actress? I don't know why her name came to mind. I'm on hold. Grumble, grumble. No worries, Mobius. Uh, but we had those bookends up until really recently, like 40, 50 years. And I was looking through Amazon. I haven't looked through eBay, but I know it was a pretty common uh, mold that you could pour in ceramics classes, and I was hoping I could find a replacement for my big wall unit that I just put up because I have a place where uh, there's an upper shelf, and I want to put either CDs or books because the whole shelf is going to be full of the books I need to read, want to read, as opposed to um, any gaming books. Those are all going to be here because right now I have like a ton of my omnibuses and other books that are near and dear to my heart, but at the same time I want to read. Like I've got the Rogers Zelazny uh, complete collection of 6 books that I want to read because there's a whole bunch of poems and short stories that I never knew existed. Someone went and compiled like the equivalent of the definitive collection, and I want to start reading all of those. But they sit here, and I don't take them downstairs. But if they're downstairs, I can read them in my comfy spot, which I'm trying to do some things off this video I watched. See if I can track it down and post it. But 10 habits of successful people, things to do to make yourself smarter and you know more productive in your day. And one of them was reading 10 pages of something before you go to bed instead of doing this, which I am very, very guilty of. Last night I was watching, well, I tried to watch, but you ever do that? You click on a video before you go to bed that you want to watch, to help you fall asleep, and like 1 second in, you're out like a light. That was yesterday for me. I stayed up, not past my bedtime, but as soon as my head hit the pillow, I was out. I woke up this morning and I was looking, and I was like, I don't remember watching that video. Yeah, that's right. I fell asleep. Just fell asleep as soon as I clicked it on. It was like top 20 sci-fi cartoons you probably forgot about from back in the day, not just Star Blazers, but other things. And I wanted to see, just how hokey the cartoons were, because like last night when I was watching the movie, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of better than what I remember the cartoon being. It was, the cartoon was, dated to say the least. And I watched the first episode last night, and it was, it was a little cartoony, a little uh, not juvenile, but almost. But it still had elements that would not have flown in any other way when it comes to cartoons. Scooby Doo. If one of the gang had died, they would have not done that. Just one of the characters' brother died, which I realized Robotech did the exact same thing within the first couple of 6 episodes, or maybe even the first episode. Uh, with the death of a very near and dear character. Actually, my favorite Robotech character, even long after he died, was Roy Fokker. Uh, but someone's got to die early to really set the tone and the theme of the show. But it wasn't as bad as I remembered. Even the theme song wasn't as bad. I remember at times just absolutely cringing to that uh, Star Blazers theme, but listening to it last night, I was like, yeah, this is not that bad. I was maybe overreacting. I was kind of bummed that I didn't recognize any of that music in the live action movie, which again was really really good. I hope you guys will catch it. I know it's on YouTube for free, and it's like 2 hours of your life. You probably wouldn't regret. The only problem is my version has subtitles, so I had to pay really close attention to it, and the names are uh, kind of hard, trying to remember. Okay, that's supposed to be Derek Wildstar. Uh, that's supposed to be Mark Venture. Things like that, uh, which didn't really happen. They used all I guess, the original Japanese names from Matsumoto's original penning of the story. Did any of you guys ever watch or read Captain Harlock? That was another one of my favorites that he did. I really liked that one a lot. I think I'm going to pull those out of my comic book boxes if I can find them, because I know the cartoon was way. Oh my god, it was awful. It was the main character was nothing but Cloak. It was just my friends when I tried getting him to watch. He's like, "Hey, it's Cloak Man." And I'm just like, "You're not wrong," but I wanted it to be better, and some parts of it were pretty good, but it was just so Vampire Hunter D when it came to that. Hey, what's up, Dean? Hey, Shadow. On my way home from shopping, so can't join. Needed a new wind spring jacket and keyboard. Uh, I hope they're two separate items, and if not, where can I get one? A windspring jacket with a keyboard? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, something like that. No worries, Dean. Nobody's obligated to show up here. It's only an hour, maybe a little more, depending on who shows up. Like yesterday, we had a bunch of people here, and thank you, Dean, for reminding me that I did have other obligations and other things I planned on doing in the morning, like cutting down boxes. That's what I got to look forward to. But hopefully, it'll be raining, so when I'm cutting down the boxes, I can watch the rain come down in my neighborhood. So, well, someone has come to pay a visit to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Hey, George.
Hey, can you hear me?
Perfectly clear. Five
Great.
by five, as they say. How you doing? Can't see you though. I can see your Coca Cola fine, but can't see you, man. There's still like I got like one eye, and there we go. That's a little better. There you go. I was watching this video this morning of this rat bastard who started. It was like a 1 minute, short. This bastard was complaining to his neighbors. I guess his upstairs neighbors, they were being too loud. So
Hmm.
when they wouldn't comply with his, being more quiet. I mean, hey, you live downstairs from somebody.
Yeah.
You got to deal with that. So what does this guy do? He concocts some sort of uh, chemical. I'm not going to say the names of them just because, uh, and uses a syringe and starts squirting it under their door on a regular basis. And mind you, they've
My
got a
God.
an infant in the house that I think had to be hospitalized, and it turns out he was a Chinese guy and got deported, so no charges. And I'm sure he went home to a hero's welcome, for
Hmm.
traumatizing an infant and a family that walked too loud. He literally asked them if they could walk slower.
Yeah.
Fucking piece of shit. And of course they showed his picture and typical, uh, chem student, nerdy looking bastard, who, made all the wrong life choices and was thus miserable. Just
Uh,
blew me
Yeah.
away. So what's on your mind? What are you up to today?
I got work, so I'm gonna do some CAD work right now. Later, I want to make. I think I mentioned you earlier, like over the weekend, asking about doing like a haunted house, a haunted house, like finding a haunted house module I could use or something.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of doing that for my upcoming this weekend. I have a traveler game with some like my daughter's friends family. They play 5e, so I volunteered to DM for it,
Okay.
and so we're doing 5e. But I think you can play almost anything if you had some, make it cool, make it
They're
your own.
actually, I just saw the Kickstarter for 5E Traveler, and it looks like, quality wise, it looks nice. It
Hmm.
looks really, really, really nice. Mike, you know where the link is? You want to come join us? Um, but they're doing a 5E version of Traveler, and I'm like,
Okay.
you don't understand. That's the last thing you're supposed to do with Traveler
Yeah,
is a level based system. It
yeah,
defeats. It's sort of so ingrained and baked into the mode of play that having it as a skill based system is what it's all about. You throw in a
yeah,
level based thing, and then suddenly the players are doing everything to level up as
yeah.
opposed to solve the problem. Well, we can't solve the problem. We just need to go up a level.
Oh yeah.
No,
The other
you
thing
need to
is,
figure out the problem and use the skill that's appropriate to solving the problem. Maybe a chain of various actions through different players. Hey, Mike, come on in. The water is
yeah,
fine.
Hello.
Hi.
And it just defeats it. I'm like, they really will 5e anything, won't they? So how you doing, Mike?
I'm doing okay. It looks like it might rain where I am, and
Same
so it's
here.
my don't want to do yard work excuse.
Oh no.
I don't want to go out there and pick weeds.
Oh yeah.
We don't got
Well,
lawns. We have just that dirt.
if you live in a neighborhood anything like mine, that's all you have is weeds.
Yeah. Well, our lawns here are just sand that we don't have grass.
Hmm. I want to do that, but it costs so much
Oh,
money to do that. You know,
Yeah.
to de-yardify your yard
yeah.
and turn it into a freaking desert scape. I'm like, well, why don't we just not water for a year and see what happens? See what we get. Hey, it's natural looking. Yeah, because it's natural. But no, we actually fight to keep our grass. That's why we moved out here, not here particularly, but to a house because where we used to live, it was all blacktop, and Jackie was, in danger of getting a scraped knee, and his mom didn't know, how to deal with that. So, well, we got to buy a house so we have a yard so he can play. And sure, he played, but he also still got scraped knees because that's what
Yeah.
little boys are supposed to do. So, George, I told you about Teagle Manor
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh, which I'm pretty sure is available for 5e somewhere. And if
Okay.
not, the original I'm sure is available on the, funnily enough, the high seas because it is a very ghost piratey
Hmm.
uh, haunted house story, and
Yeah.
very very much in line. Uh, it's like the ultimate sort of Scooby Doo adventure
Oh,
for
cool.
AD&D, and it was made and written in the UK, one of the UK series. So it's got a little more friendlier tone to it, I think.
It's
In
a
the,
ghost of Saltmarsh. That's the 5e one.
oh, it is okay.
Yeah. I received it as a gift.
Did
People,
you enjoy it?
Yeah.
it's not like, I mean, it takes stuff from the original and kind of builds extra stuff into it. I never ran it because I had the original stuff, but when somebody hears that you play D&D relatives, it's like, oh, does he have this
Yeah.
So
book?
you, at least they're trying.
Yeah.
Um, that's fantastic that
Yeah.
they tried because that sort of thing is not easy for normies to go
Mhm.
into some place and be overwhelmed with a million different questions from the purveyor of said stuff, and then getting it trying to help you out but also
Yeah.
make a buck, of course. But
Well, listening to reviews, it's one of like the better ones and better translations. So if you pick it up and run it for people, it'll probably be good.
cool, cool. I would recommend that unless you're looking for something uh, different. I would definitely maybe watch some old Scooby Doo's if you're running for kids and you're looking for
Yeah.
that kind of theme.
I think.
One of my
Yeah.
favorite.
I think that the tact I'm going to go is kind of just pull from what I can find inspire. I just have so much story in my head that I kind of got to make it on my own. I gotta like literally make it.
Yep.
But yeah, the concept is so some of the kids are kind of young. So like I think 11, I think is the youngest, and the youngest daughter's 12, and my other daughter is 15. So I'm thinking to kind of don't make it something too heavy, but they also picked like some of them picked like street urchin backgrounds and things like that. So the kind of the idea is that one of the there's a NPC that's going to be making an orphanage, and of course she got a great deal on a house, but they got to come and clear it, clear it of squatters or ghosts or whatever it is.
Okay.
So and yeah, so then of course they'll find out there's like a necromancer in
You know,
there
there
or
was
something.
that great Charles Dickens TV series a while back. Did you see that? I forget what it was called. I think it was called The Dickens or something. It was like to scare the Dickens out of you. Um,
Huh.
it was pretty good. It had all of his characters interwoven into one story. It was really well done. And I'm not a big Charles Dickens fan, but growing up in the states, they kind of force feed us that stuff through the first six grades.
Yeah, yeah. I think one of the first books we were assigned was Christmas Carol. Yeah, I like that whole. That's one thing about I kind of like about the setting for Eberron. It's like a kind of Victorian feel. You can kind of do almost anything really with it. And there's the guy who created it is still kind of active with blogs. So if you have a question, you can always find out what he has to say about it. If you can't think of what to
That's
make out,
cool.
if you want to, yeah. The so yeah, it's also the idea of like magic, like is there, like kind of takes it to the point where like yeah, what do you do? Like if it's a high magic setting, they can build floating buildings and things like that, and have communication networks and you know uh, sort of bind a storm elemental and power a train with it. Yeah,
Yeah, and it kind of like a steampunk, but uses magic instead of steam
yeah,
power.
yeah, like magic punk, yeah, steampunk. And I think that's why I picked it because my older daughter she wanted something steampunky, so I figured that. And my daughter's friend is into that. Her family likes that show Arcane on Netflix. It's a League of Legends thing. It's like an animated
Oh,
series.
yeah, yeah.
So I figured that sounds like Eberron. So
And just be careful because too much of that, you can have a couple little goth girls running around the house,
yeah. Oh,
and you know where that leads.
they wanted to play a vampire game. My oldest especially. So
Oh,
yeah, you can't. I was like, if I can like take all the sexual stuff out of like VTM, maybe I would. But it's just like it's too much of an option like in there that I gotta get. It's yeah,
You can, but it's just very much the undertone of it.
yeah,
hmm. Well, that was always the thing with vampires to begin with, wasn't it? From
yeah,
Camille all the way to Dracula, just without being as in your face it is as it is now. From what I remember, it was kind of subtle, but at the same time, subtle for us might have been like on point for them back then. I don't know. Um,
yeah. The Victorian kind of the whole Victorian like sort of a what do you call it repression of sexuality kind of thing, and the whole metaphor of Dracula.
yeah,
Yeah, kind of like you got around the seduction because it was a supernatural creature doing it.
Hmm.
It
yeah,
takes
yeah,
control, so then it's not my fault that.
yeah. A lot of things were blamed on things like that, but at the same time, um, I'm gonna go with it. It wasn't all fantasy.
It's not gay if it's in character. Let's just say that.
No, it is most definitely. If the two people's touch are in the same room and it's not a locker room
It's in
shower,
character.
and even then it can still be gay. It's gay.
It's
And
true, but
I, hey, Chewy, what the hell are you doing? I'm going to end up kicking you in the face. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? He's just like, what? I am not giving you popcorn for breakfast. Just because I eat popcorn for breakfast doesn't mean you get popcorn for breakfast. Oh, what do we got going on here? Oh, we got a face. Ugh. He's like just sniffing around for everything. I've got a sealed bag of caramel corn, and he's just like, I know what's in there. I mean,
Yeah,
you can smell it through the factory seal. Uh, and he just, I forgot to get him his chicken treats. I give him one every morning. They're big like chicken jerky.
hmm
It looks like human could eat it, but it specifically says not for human consumption. I'm like, it's okay for dogs. That makes me feel kind of shitty. But I forgot to get
yeah,
the bag at the grocery store, so he's been, like, where's my thing, man? Where's my chicken?
yeah, yeah. My
So
My mother-in-law, she brings chicken livers and cooks them for her, but not like every day, like just like maybe once or twice a week. So like
Okay.
every time she comes in from the garage, she's just like she runs up to her expecting to get chicken livers.
Yeah, it's funny. I was in the hospital as a kid having my adenoids out, and I wasn't allowed to eat for most of the time I was there. The one and only meal they gave me, and I was like an 8-year-old kid, never heard of any of the words I'm about to mention, which was chicken gizzards over rice. Was the one and only meal I was served, and of course, not
Oh
having
gosh,
any of that.
you throw
But
up.
I kid you not, when I left the hospital, my parents asked me what I wanted, and I said I wanted 10 Jack in the Box cheeseburgers,
Did you throw up?
and, that's what they got me. And I think I ate like 6 of them. But I don't know if you guys remember. I know Mike, you might remember if you've ever been to Jack in the Box. You know your basic bitch cheeseburger, right? It was
Mhm.
like 50 cents or whatever. It had that orange sauce on it.
I don't remember that.
Okay, okay. It's been a while. When they took that off the burgers, people lost their freaking minds. I don't know what it was. It was like it was not French dressing, but it looked like French dressing. I mean, it was orange and it didn't have relish in it, so it wasn't like Thousand Island kind of orange. Sometimes it was
Mm.
bright cheddar cheese orange, and it wasn't a cheese sauce. It was vaguely tomatoey, but it was like their secret sauce that they had. They even had a character back in the '70s when Jack in the Box was had the different clown, the more clowny clown, if you know what I
Mhm.
mean. The old logo and icon. They had these characters, and one of them was the secret sauce agent, and they had these little bendable figures that they gave away pre Happy Meal thing. You would get one with like a certain order or something,
Mhm.
and I was looking for those because I remember I had a friend in the '80s, which was like 10 years later, who still had them on her refrigerator. Uh, and I always tried to like swipe the secret sauce guy. She'd be like, "I'm watching you," and I went and looked them up on eBay, and they're not cheap. They still exist, but those little stupid little icons and characters and things like that, they know they got you. If you're looking for that, you're going to pay. You are absolutely going to pay. As long as you know what the name of the item is that you're looking for or trying to sell, you will be able to find it. But it won't be cheap.
Yep.
Yeah,
Nostalgia costs a lot of money.
I
yeah.
was looking for a Captain Midnight decoder ring. For those of you who know, it's way before my time, but it was a thing that I kept hearing about, through different places, and I think uh, even Bugs Bunny mentioned one. Captain Midnight was a radio show about a bunch of pilots that did secret missions or some shit. Uh, and in the cereal or something, you'd get this decoder ring, and on the radio show, they would give coded messages that you need to decode with the ring. You have to write it down like
Christmas
you were in
story.
the war.
Like
And
Christmas story where he decodes the Ovaltine message.
yeah, 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 same thing. Maybe that might have even been the same ring. To be honest, it might have been Ovaltine, but it was that sort of idea.
Hmm.
Um, and I was thinking about that. It's like I bet you we can make that shit come back. With the way things are censored now, now it's our own, you know, institutions censoring us that we are going to need to decode. And you know how a lot of YouTubers have to speak in code.
Yeah.
Um, I'm thinking that there needs to be a secret code for us, just so we can get past Am I using the wrong color? I am using the wrong color. So that we can get past those issues and say things that might be a little spicy. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think
Maybe maybe get one of those independent jewelry makers. I keep seeing, hey, what's up, off grid? I keep seeing videos from a couple of different goth artists that make rings and jewelry and weird shit. Sometimes even textiles and things like that. It's like, hey, could you make me a coated spinning ring with a little alphabet thing on it?
yeah, like
Does
the
that have
thing in the
to
or like the cylinder, like the Da Vinci Code.
Then
well,
you're
something smaller, so that you could, literally like wear, or maybe a little pendant on a necklace, like the uh, those dice things they made. Remember, not dice, the life trackers
yeah, a little like
for
turn
Magic the
quick.
Gathering. Those little, yeah, something like that. What's that? Oh, it's just my Magic the Gathering life tracker / secret decoder wheel for my.
And then run a YouTube channel like one of those number stations where you just transmit codes.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that is so weird. That is so weird that they're still operational to this day.
Yeah.
There, you can tune in, and it's just some guy or some girl and numbers that have been recorded from, God knows how long, or
Mm,
I'd be willing to bet that there are still some that are actually active.
yeah. You'd
Well,
be surprised how much what's going on with ham radio and stuff like that. Like I kind of started looking into it. I got a little hand unit, but I just still have to get my license and stuff like that. But just it's just amazing what's going on. Like there's they have like internet connections on some of these towers and things, and people are just
Hmm.
yeah. And it's just like the internet where like there's jerks that just kind of spam or just you know be like jerks to people, call cursing and making fun of people and things like that. It's like it's kind of weird. There's mesh networks which are like kind of a peer to peer, like unit to unit, sort of almost like a phone, and you could text and you can talk, but it's like just from unit to unit to unit, and like somehow
so
it
is
works.
it like encoded?
I think there are ways to do it, but I don't. The one that is like some of the products you can buy, like a Meshtastic, I don't think they're coded.
You know
Um,
what? I think I'm gonna look into that. Um, that whole idea of unquenchable or unquelchable, squelchable. I don't know. Ways of communication. I
mm,
was thinking about this the other day because I watched this video. Whatever happened to regular TV? It's all cable now, right?
yeah, I think
So
there
I'm
technically
wondering if
is.
you got the equipment, because it'd probably be dirt cheap now, or and broadcasts, like regular TV to the like 8 people that are still got their antenna up and are still
I think
watching the pattern, the test patterns or whatever
yeah,
is still being broadcast, or is that now
I
solely
think
in the purview of the government, and they're using it to have
yeah.
clandestine meetings or something.
Sling. There's a company called Sling. Like if you're somebody, you might see Sling as an app on your Roku or something. They got in trouble for that. They were making like a thing to like you could like rebroadcast to your phone and what while you're waiting in your taxi or whatever, you could watch like basically whatever's being broadcast. But I guess
Because
technically,
I have a device for one of my handheld devices, one of my
mhm,
game units that has a TV and an antenna, so I could literally watch TV on my. I want to say it was like the Game Gear or one of those old
yeah,
timey, you know, not a Game Boy, but like a Game Boy, and because I was thinking about it this morning with the mention of the UHF channels, as I used to live like 2 blocks away from like channel 52 here, and to watch Star Blazers and I was also on a game show with Kirk R. Gross. I forget the name of the game show, but it was a UHF channel game show. And I'm like, what? Just because we don't use the technology doesn't mean it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And if nobody else is using it, why can't we?
Yeah. I
Why?
think
Why? Obviously because the FCC doesn't want to waste money monitoring, our subversive content, I guess.
yeah.
But you know, isn't that under the purview of freedom of speech, freedom of press,
Yeah.
etc.? Don't we have the right to, you know, do some of that stuff? And if not, why not? And you know,
Yeah. Well,
what's the freaking deal, bitch?
one of the things I
Right?
guess, yeah, one of the things the FCC manages is like the spectrum. Like there's the broadcast spectrum is just massive. Like it, and like ham radio is like a tiny, tiny part of it.
Yeah.
And but there's like massive parts are for military. There's a part for like police and firefighters. There's a part
Mhm.
for there's commercial uses like every get you can get there's a part for like little walkie talkies you can buy on the at the store. There's a part for walkie talkies that you might use for your business like it's sort of it's its own band. There's
Yeah.
CB, which is kind of commercial band. Now I forget what the current one is. People don't really do CB anymore. There's another name for it, which is like
Yeah. My mom
you.
used to work for React, which was the emergency channel, like 14 or whatever. If people wonder, how was the CB radio, good for emergencies? Well, if you were, driving and you had a CB radio and you broke down, you go to like channel 9 or channel 14 or whatever it was, and there'd be people monitoring that channel whose job it was to then find out who you were, where you were, what you needed, and call the appropriate
Yeah,
response team, whether it's the police, fire department, ambulance, and get you out there. And she did that for many years on the radio because she had previously worked as a DJ for her college station. And
mhm,
so we would go to these React meetings at like, they'd start at like 10 o'clock at night. My mom would bring me, an 8, 12-year-old kid to a bar in Orange County at 10 o'clock at night. And I wouldn't be getting home till 2 o'clock in the morning, reeking of booze, but I hadn't had a drink, because you can't walk into a bar, at that age and not get a drink spilled on you. And
yeah,
I,
and
I, I always wondered, what happens to that, you know, what they call obsolete technology that still works in premise and theory.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like 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 the old was it a movie? I think Pirate Radio. Where the guy
yeah,
was driving around with a radio station. Well, what about a pirate TV station? Where you're
yeah.
broadcasting. The
I love it.
truth. Like in Twin Peaks, that crazy radio guy, or Wally George. You guys
Yeah,
remember him? Or something like that. Wally George was, just look him up. He was quite the character. He was like MAGA, the first MAGA American in our lifetime. He was just like Uncle Sam, and but really racist in the 80s. And I hate to say it, but the only reason I found out about him was because my brother, who is an avowed card carrying, swastika tattooed on his forehead, Aryan Nation brother, uh, doing 400 years in a particular prison right now as we speak, never to be seen again by the rest of humanity, would watch that show religiously, and I'm like, damn, that guy's something, huh? But have a like a mobile freaking TV news broadcast, that
yeah,
you know kind of like They Live kind of thing,
yeah,
especially if you did it like that, like you know accusing people of being aliens, whether it's true or not, just for fun, but just go out there and just be really over the top about it, and see if anybody actually watches,
yeah.
see what. kind of trouble you could get into without getting into too much trouble, because I'm not advocating for anything illegal here, but I always wondered, if that was even something that's
That's
already being
I think
done.
one of the things is like I think like when it like the first kind of videos and podcasts and things, like they were just on the person's website. Like when I first started listening to things, like I think I listened to Joe Rogan on his website. Like I would go to his website and find it, and listen to his podcast, see the videos that he posts and things like that. Um, but it was kind of before it wasn't like YouTube was around, but it wasn't like it is now. And then it
Mhm.
became like the thing you had to put your podcast on. You had to put it on YouTube, and that was, I almost think that that was kind of like you're saying, that sort of guerrilla sort of
Underground
broadcasting where
communication.
yeah. I think just now there's so many YouTube's so captured, like it's like so like it's captured the audience. I mean, of course, the companies like just has their agenda, but yeah,
It's really
everybody's
been
on.
integrated
Yeah,
into the
yeah,
the
like
culture.
the broadcast is that it's no longer broadcast TV. It's like the app or whatever it is that you use to
Yeah,
access
like
YouTube or
well,
Twitter or Netflix.
YouTube used to be kind of like the Wild West, and they put
Yeah,
Yeah,
kinds of stuff, and then it got sold to Google or ABC or whatever their parent company is, and then all of a sudden, hmm,
yeah,
let's monetize the shit out of this and make it
well,
you know
or,
normal.
yeah,
Not mainstream. That's what I was looking for. And it's now beat out everything. Nobody watches TV anymore. I don't know
yeah,
anybody that
yeah.
watches like regular, broadcast TV, except my wife, and she's watching Telemundo.
yeah. My mother-in-law came down the other day. She's like, I don't know why anybody watches TV anymore, and she's 80. You just get the news on YouTube.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. My aunt, the only living relative I have left, she. I need to call today. She still watches regular TV.
Yeah,
I tried sending her links to the channel back in the day when Jackie was a little, squirt doing this stuff, and she could click on the link, but if I didn't send it to her, she
yeah,
probably didn't watch it, and it was like, it's too bad. But it's actually probably a good thing too, because she'd be like, oh my god, what are you doing? Who are these weirdos you hang out with? Such a nice boy. And I was,
yeah,
Off grid says, I miss rabbit ears and portable TV radios. Also, the signals were much safer, healthier to be around, less invasive. I did not think about that. I
Hmm.
suppose you could come down with some horrific kind of cancer driving around in a van full of, broadcast equipment.
Well, they've gone from, I think that they changed the signal from just being radio or airwaves to this digital signal. Because I was just trying to look it up what I could get here.
The
It's all,
yeah,
5G kind of thing.
it's all just a digital signal.
yeah. I remember somewhere in the '90s you had a
Uh,
like this changeover, and you had like if you had an old TV, you had to buy a thing to convert the signal.
I think I remember that. Yeah, but
But by then, most people were just using cable because the signal was so bad. It used to be pretty good. I remember like in the '70s, I mean, sometimes you try to get a weird channel like on the UHF or something. But the signal was generally good. And then I think when I tried, like I remember later in like the '90s, like when maybe I didn't pay my cable bill or something. I'm using old TV. Like what happened to the signal? It was like terrible.
I think that was a feature, not a bug.
Yeah,
yeah, then everybody's on cable now. Everybody that I know is pretty much quit cable.
yeah,
Well, yeah, because it's just the same thing as regular network, but more tribalized.
Yeah,
This show is for this kind of person, and if you're not, you're probably not going to like it. And of course, the only people who care about those things, uh, actually worry about that or make those kinds of shows, and there's less and less out there that I want to watch, like on Netflix or Amazon or anything like that. Um, it's so ingrained with their message that like I like Love, Death, and Rockets. You guys ever watch that?
Um,
It's
Robot.
on Netflix. It's a bunch of animated
Love,
shorts.
Death, Robots. Yeah. Love,
Robots.
Death.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The first couple of seasons were great, and then let's see. I think season three, I noped out of it after like 3 or 4 episodes of
Yeah.
constant
I,
certain
I
things.
I watched a few of them, and then there was one episode. This is a personal thing of mine. It had like some cartoon with Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I hate that fucking band. I,
Good for you. Good for you.
I do not like them. I've never liked them.
I knew
Everybody
there was.
else, mm, they just
I knew there was
bother
a reason I liked you. Yeah, I can't stand him either, and
me.
I
So
forget
they had
what
an episode of that as the premiere thing or on one. I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, but I mean, just keep that shit out, Uh, yeah, yeah. The first 2 seasons were really good. It even gave me some ideas, and I told the story before how the episode "Life Hutch" was taken from a creepy or eerie magazine back in the late '70s, early '80s, and I had that issue. I read that story. I
Hmm.
remembered it because it scared the shit out of me. It's about this astronaut who crashes, and he's trying desperately to get to this thing called the Life Hutch, which is just a little survival shelter.
Mhm.
And when he finally gets there, the little maintenance droid has gone freaking berserk and is trying to kill him, and he's armed with like nothing. Just trying to freaking not bleed to death and get to the medical first aid kit. And this little droid is like a freaking evil little gremlin, intruder, anti-intruder protocol set in, and normally, anybody else, it would be, you know, no match for a human, but because it's a little robot and he's already beat up and banged up, he is just like, you know, struggling to just not die, and now this robot's trying to kill him, and it was turned into one of those episodes. And I mean, this is like a 40-year-old, you know, story from a comic book that somehow survived to the modern, and it was good. It was very well done. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend go check out that particular story, and leave the rest of it alone because it's a
But do you know what season that was in? Because I watched like a lot of them, but somebody would
two or
just
three. It had to be
three.
2 or 3.
Okay.
Um, or you could just type it in and
Yeah,
then
find it
put
on.
in parentheses Life Hutch, and you might find it that way on YouTube, maybe. I don't know. But they're only like 5, 7, 10 minute long shows, anyways. It'll probably take you longer than that to find it, though, right?
Man.
But yeah, I've got my creepy and Vampirella, and I don't have the first Eerie magazine omnibus, but those all three of those magazines were full of absolutely great little short story, black and white art by some famous people or not so famous people anymore, but full of great inspiration for let's face it, all of our D&D role playing games,
Looks like it's
whether
like
we realize it or not,
nuts.
have to incorporate an element of horror to make them scary, to make them challenging, to make the players, afraid of, for the life of their character. They have to, you know, unless they don't and aren't invested and are just trying to get themselves killed so they can get kicked out of the game, kind of thing. You have to instill some
Excuse- me.
element of fear, so that it, you know, you have to instill some some, you know, element of fear, so that it, 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 you know, element of fear, so that it grabs the player, and that they actually begin to care about their character and keep them alive, and feel the threat of danger, not real danger, of course, but be a little scared.
Yeah.
And I keep going back to those, and the Tales from the Crypt box set that someone gave me last year, for ideas on how to make little things and big things scary.
Yeah. One of the things
Being eaten, I think bothers people.
Hmm?
Being eaten,
Oh yeah, 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 absolutely. I mean,
whether
that's
it's
one of the most primitive primal fears of
whether
all.
it,
yeah.
whether it's goblins or orcs or like rot grubs. That picture with the thing crawling their arms, I was like, nope,
Mm.
Crook pots. Yeah. I
burrowing through your
remember
skin.
I
No,
remember hearing a story about a guy being eaten by an alligator in Florida.
no, no.
And then what got me was that brought the guy's body back to its den to feed on and to give it to, like, for its baby alligators to eat. I don't know. Yeah,
Well,
that
they
was
gotta
kind
eat
of,
too.
yeah, I know.
You don't want the poor baby alligators to starve, because then they
Yeah.
can't grow up to eat more people
Yeah.
who make babies and then eat more people. Wait a minute, we should be doing. Why do we not do what our ancestors would have done, and that would have been exterminate all alligators? No more problem. Why do we
Yeah.
feel if we take out all the sharks out of the ocean and kill them, the world will not be a better place?
Yeah.
Isn't that just like completely?
There must be
It was good.
something.
It was very good.
I'm pretty sure it must be something about that makes that Florida man psyche. That there's actually a creature that could kill you. Like, you walk around Colorado, maybe a mountain lion could sneak attack you and kill you, maybe.
Well, we,
But
we got the same
but
thing.
but
We got
an
homeless
alligator?
people.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
I could have said something else.
True.
Um, but why do we think that if we get rid of lions and tigers and bears, the world will fall apart?
Yeah, I guess it's like
I
an
mean,
environmental thing.
do you need bears in your life? Do you feel
Yeah.
that if there were no bears, there'd be too many salmon?
Yeah. There was a point where, like, smallpox only existed in a refrigerator in a lab somewhere. Um and people were debating we shouldn't really get rid of it. Like, maybe we could learn from it.
No, we can't. We can learn how to die and suffer and watch other people die and suffer. You fucking crazy psycho mad scientist bastards.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I,
that's
I, I think I think I'm going to start a campaign of get rid of all the sharks and all the bears. Start with them.
yeah. I
Well, you
mean, it
keep it
also
in the
seems,
lab just so you need it to get out in case you need a reason for there to be a virus. I mean,
yeah. The other thing, like the whole
That would
gain of
never happen.
it's like the whole idea. I
yeah,
remember the whole gain of function thing, where they're like, well, and Obama banned it, but of course they still did it. Oh, we could do it somewhere else, as if it wouldn't
and
affect
I
finally,
wouldn't
America.
say it to a country that hasn't banned it and likes money.
Yeah, and it's just like, why'd you do it? Well, we want to teach it to gain a function, so we could learn that it didn't have, so we could learn it if it does learn it on its own. Well, it's like, oh, that's a brilliant
yeah,
idea.
It's like gambling. The first guy who proposed a gamble, a wager,
Mhm.
should have been beaten to death, and it should have never happened again.
Yeah,
The first guy says, "Hey, I got this idea. If you're right, you get this, but if I'm right, I get that. What do you say?" I say,
sure.
no, that's evil, and it's some form of trickery, technology. I don't know what you call
Yeah.
it, but no, we're
My,
not going
my
to do that.
my biggest form of gambling is either ordering a different item on the menu or a different restaurant that I usually don't go to. That's I don't like losing. I like my stuff and my money.
I'm right there with you. I would rather, uh, you know, get some more 3D printed stuff or some old collectible stuff that actually goes up in value. It's not a gamble; it's just a freaking given now. Um, but
Yeah.
I mean, their customer base, the people that gamble, is I guess it's a disease now. That's what we're going to call it. But we've
Mhm.
got a casino out here called Morango. But if you spell it out properly, it's Moron Go. Moron Go Gamble. I was like, fuck. They just see you coming, man. Oh, there's people in the parking lot. All right, ching. The house always wins. That doesn't mean anything to anybody. You know,
Yeah.
um, it's just I bought exactly one lottery ticket. I won $2, and I've never gambled again. Gamble. I've done things that were risky, and I guess you know the things I did as a youngster counted as gambling with my life, and I'm
Well,
not doing that anymore.
Hmm.
Trying to jump those 4 trash cans on my motocross bike, or having that one more drink, or other things that I might have done or not done could qualify. But yeah, I really I don't even go to new restaurants, dude. It's like no. I we've got we've got a lot around us, uh, and I trust them, and I always get the same damn thing. And the family's like, why do you always, like when I go to Denny's, I get the moons over my hammy, and
Yeah.
they're like, why do you get that? And I'm like, take a bite. It's like, oh, you really can't make that at home, can you? You can try all I want, get all the right ingredients, but there's that one thing that all the restaurants have that you will never find in the grocery store ever, and that's the particular exact bread that they use, whether it be a hamburger bun, sourdough bread, whatever. You can't get it. You can try. You cannot get that exact bread at home. At the
Yeah.
grocery store, none of them. You can't do it. They've got all kinds of hamburger buns and breads that you look at it. Oh, artisanal. Oh, this is going to be great. That's good, but it's not freaking what I was hoping for to try and reproduce the In-N-Out burger at home.
Yeah.
Even watching the
Well,
the the secret videos on
yeah.
how they make an In-N-Out burger, it's not the freaking same. Why?
there
Because they get
there
different
is
bread.
a
That's it. That's
there
the
is a
that's,
there's a big channel that this is kind of guy looks like a hipster, but he's pretty cool. He does like yeah, he does that. Like he'll take something and make it, but he'll also make it his own. Like try to make it better, like put better quality stuff and things like that.
Mhm. I was blown away when I found out In-N-Out uses mustard. I was
I
like, what?
got my first In-N-Out burger not too long ago, like last month or something.
And you probably thought it was messy and not worth the hype, right?
Um, yeah, yeah, but it got me thinking about burgers. I mean, I'm a McDonald's, a White Castle's guy. So
Hmm.
my said my wife made them for me once. Like she made it at home. It was great, and hopefully she might make it again for my birthday.
Make what?
Hopefully,
White Castle?
yeah, she can make it. She
Oh,
it's not it's pretty much except for the bun, but they usually we just put like a sweet Hawaiian roll for the bun.
Uh-huh.
They
yeah.
don't, but my kids don't like it. She don't like it because they're kind of soggy. Because White
Uh-huh.
Castle's a steamed burger, but it's so
Right.
tasty. And there's like you just like because there's this size that's like tiny that like a little kid
Yeah.
could probably
Oh,
eat.
I've had them.
But of course, I would eat
Jackie's
them individually, like like a snack.
They're
Jackie's first
okay.
hamburger was a White Castle. I got the frozen White Castle burgers out of the freezer section, and
Hmm.
because I wanted him to be able to eat a hamburger as a kid for lunch, when he was first able to start eating solids and stuff. And I even have a picture of it somewhere, and because I sent it to his mom, like, look what Jackie's having for lunch. She's like, what is he? I said he's eating a hamburger. What? And I'm not there. First moment, and I'm like, yep, as I was there for like all of them. First steps, First, literally, I saw him before his mom did. I made sure of it. The
Yeah.
doctor put him down on the table, and I ran over there and like stick my face in his face, like, "Hey, buddy, welcome to Earth." You know, he couldn't see, but if he could, the first thing he would have saw would have been me. Um, 'Cause I'm a bastard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jen likes those hamburgers from White Castle that are frozen that you just pop in the microwave. Those little.
If you do it just right, you got to know how to like microwave it. Like, don't follow the directions. You got to microwave
Yeah.
it a certain amount, separate it, put the bread in the toaster, put the meat back in the microwave. Do it just right. They're okay. And funny thing is I had two uncles. I'm pretty sure they're no longer with us, but they came from Chicago to visit us, and they came with 2 bags of White Castle hamburgers right off the airplane. Driving everybody on the airplane probably nuts because they had 2 bags of freaking White Castle hamburgers. And as soon as they got here, uh, they were, I'm not going to say they were still warm, but they weren't cold, and they gave them to my dad and us. And uh, right after that, the first thing they said was, "Where's the Legos?" Because they knew my brother and I had a
Oh.
huge bucket of Legos, and they wanted to start playing with the Legos with us
Wow.
as soon as within like 5 minutes of being at the house. It was kind of cool, but they both grew up to be kind of douchey. Um, but yeah, it was. They're not bad. They're. I think I would definitely rather have one of those than anything at McDonald's. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
except maybe McDonald's fries and McDonald's
Yeah,
chicken
I eat
nuggets.
the fries.
They're still, but I'm not going to go and sit in line nor pay the price for either.
Yeah.
But I did see. I think it's Burger King. I think it is. You remember the apple pies, the
Oh
the
yeah.
The
the nuclear
nuclear
deep fried
burn.
apple pies. I think Sonic brought them back for a while, and I got lucky and I was able to get one. And I think now Burger King is brought them
Yeah.
back, and I'm like,
Steak and Shake. They started they do their fries in that beef tallow, so it's not whatever vegetable
toxic.
grease. Yeah. Well, we don't have a lot of good restaurants around here. They're either chains or
Mhm.
I don't see how they stay open kind of restaurants.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, you know how they stay
Like,
open? It's the same way your Vons and your Albertson stays open. Uh,
government
Women who
subsidy in
think
a way.
no, no, no. Women who do the shopping who think that
Uh,
they're too good to shop at the poorer places. I see a lot of them. Go to your local Vons or Albertsons, Mike, because you live in the same area. And those places, literally, everything is twice the price of like Walmart or Food for Less or some of your other grocery stores that are not as expensive, like twice the freaking price. And they're all freaking you know a certain kind of female that go in those places. And it's all because of you know it's like a status symbol. You know high maintenance women are going to shop at high maintenance places like that. They won't be caught dead in a Walmart. And I go to my Walmart every week, and
kind of like going to
just normal,
Trader Joe's or something. And it's the same
same thing. Yeah,
crap.
yeah. Handcrafted bullshit that's still made in a factory, but they just throw a handcrafted label on it and sell it to Trader Joe's or Vons, and people think, "Ooh, I'm going to the fancy place." You're just stupid because the grocery bill is the only bill you have any control over. Once you sign up for anything else, it's only going to go up. You can literally go and eat ramen for a week and lower that bill if you want, or you can pay in the middle, or you can go crazy and have steak every day. but all your other bills, they're freaking in stone until they,
Pretty
you
much,
know,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, one of our kids works at the Stater Brothers down the street, so that's where we go.
do you get a discount or?
On anything marked with their brand. So
Okay. Because I literally noticed that like Vaughn's and Walmart, or not Vaughn's, Vaughn's and Albertsons, literally there is no generic whatsoever.
yeah.
No store brand, no generic. That's like all I buy, and I've tested like, certain products versus the generic. The generic's always better, always. I
Or
don't know why. It just is.
it's pretty much the same thing. Or it's made by some name brand that is just, yeah, like you said, just as good. Or like they have bread there that I think is better than the other bread that they always have. Their brand name bread here.
You know what? Believe it or not, I switched to Bimbo. It's a Mexican bread. You'll see it right next to like Wonder Bread,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But it says Bimbo. It's got a little like white bear on it, and it tastes like the Wonder Bread used to taste. Remember how Wonder Bread you could eat that, like you could grab a slice of Wonder Bread and it was almost like cake. It was like tasted good and it was always soft and fluffy and blah blah blah. Versus the crap we get now. I bought a loaf. Excuse me. My wife bought a loaf of it. And I'm like, okay, I'll try it. It's probably going to be crap. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas like the other stuff will take forever to mold, but it will get harder and harder and tougher and less fresh. Like it'll take a while, but it's probably really not that great. It's okay for toast because you're not going to notice. But if you want to make a sandwich, you're like, yeah, this isn't great. I have never been to Five Guys. I don't even think they have one out here.
Five Guys was pretty good. They had one back in Jersey.
I hadn't been one for a couple years, but I thought they're pretty good. But I think that's where they just put the fries in like a bag, like a brown bag. Like if you order a full thing of them, if I remember right.
I'm getting too hungry, so I'm gonna go eat something.
Yeah,
See you
me
guys,
too. Well, it's after the hour mark. Thanks, guys, for showing up. I will be back tomorrow with a bunch
All
of
right.
stuff. I got to get
All
my
right.
blood work tonight. You guys have a great afternoon. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right.
Or whenever.
Bye.
Happy trails, everybody.
All right. I'll stay on if you want to talk about the thumbnail.
Yeah, just let me end the old streamer Rooney.